Chapter 2 is called Self-Regulation Party of One, Please. Here are the objectives from this chapter, things that you should know at the end. So what does it mean to self-regulate? Self-regulation is a psychological process by which individuals motivate their own behaviors by managing their internal states, their impulses, their resources, and emotions. So basically, being able to self-regulate means you are able to control yourself. Control your impulses, control your emotions, control everything that's happening with you. This is what leads to self-directed motivation, goal setting, planning, and evaluating ongoing behaviors. There are 5 key components of self-directed behavior. First off, you've got to be able to acknowledge the desire to self-direct change. If you don't want to change, it's not going to happen. After you have acknowledged that there's a need to change, you also have to establish clearly defined and measurable goals. So now that you know you need to change, what's something you want to change? I want to make all A's. So now you need to employ a specific plan or strategy with a strong sense of self-efficacy. So if I want to make all A's and I've acknowledged the fact that I'm not reaching my academic potential, what is my plan to get the A? Okay, I'm going to start studying. I'm going to turn in all my work on time. The 4th step is to monitor your performance. Every day, every week, do a check-in to see how is it going. Then, after you've monitored your performance, at the end, you want to evaluate your results. Did it work? By the end of the grading quarter, by the end of the grading cycle, or the 3 weeks for progress reports, did I make changes? Self-referent thinking is positive self-talk. You have to be able to encourage yourself. You have to be able to say good things to yourself to keep you motivated and to keep you striving towards success. You might have to say things like, you can do this, you got this, you're smart, you're capable. Self-referent thinking is important for you to reach your goals. Most of the reason why people don't engage in the things they should engage in is because of bad habits. Habits are sort of things that we get into and they become second nature to us, and they're not usually a good thing. Research has told us that it takes 21 days to build a simple habit. If I'm not brushing my teeth, it's going to take me 3 weeks, 21 days before that becomes a habit for me. A lifestyle change, because if you want to have lifestyle changes, you want to change the way you do life. That takes more of a commitment. That means you need to adopt a new way of doing things. It's going to take at least 8 weeks and could take as many as 3 to 6 months. So if you've always been a terrible student, don't think that you're going to just automatically change that behavior after a week or a day. It might take you a whole semester before you get, hey, I shouldn't do this again. So you have to be kind to yourself, but really understand that it takes a while to really change. Behavior is a function of its consequences, not its antecedent. I want you to think about that. Behavior occurs because of consequences. Behaviors don't occur because of an antecedent, which is something that precedes it. You engage in behaviors because of the consequence. If you are punished for failing your classes, you'll stop failing your classes because you don't want that consequence. To change a behavior, we have to change consequences. There are some key performance indicators. A key performance indicator is something you need to do. Key performance indicators represent how well an organization, a team, a company is doing at something. In the collegiate program, if we looked at key performance indicators, we could say, how well are our class of 2025? How well are our class of 2024? How well are our class of 2023 collegiate students doing academically? We could look at some specific behaviors that students have and monitor whether or not things are working. If they're not, we might have to make some changes. Personal performance indicators, or PPIs, represent how an individual is performing. Okay, so we could look at the group as a whole for key performance indicators. We want everybody to use a planner. We want everybody to get to class on time. We want everybody to pass. But we can also look at individual student personal performance indicators. Okay, is this student tardy? How many days is this student attending? What are their actual exam scores? And we can drill down and figure out what is impacting our program the most. Metaphoric modeling occurs when we use metaphors to guide what we want to have in the future. So we use a metaphor to say what we want this to be. We want our collegiate students to be the very best students in the school, right? And we could use that to help students see that it's important for you as a collegiate student to do well. Lastly, there are 7 steps that you can use to change a behavior. Step 1, first you have to determine what your targeted behavior is. I want to get to class on time, right? Number 2, you have to collect baseline data through naturalistic observation. You're going to have to look at, okay, today, how many times did I get to class on time? 2 out of 4, right? Then you need to implement the intervention. Okay, what are you going to do to make sure you're there on time? I'm going to stop talking to my friends. I'm going to go ahead and go to class. Number 4, you want to reward positive behaviors and punish negative behaviors. So, okay, every time I'm to class on time, I am going to reward myself by having a piece of candy. And if I'm not in class on time, I'm going to make sure that I don't use my phone at all during that class period. Punish myself. Step 5, you want to continue the intervention for a minimum of 8 weeks. Because remember, you want this to be specific behavioral change. That means you're going to stop talking to your friends. You're going to make sure you get to class on time. Step 6, you're going to collect the final assessment data. So you're going to look back over the entire grading cycle. You're going to look at your attendance profile and see, okay, how often was I tardy? And then step 7, you're going to reflect on the results using metacognitive analysis. So did it work? I mean, I would guess that if you're on class on time, your grades improve, your relationships with your teachers improve, and your overall well-being as a student also improves. So that is everything for Chapter 2, Self-Regulation.